This is going to be a really wonderful creative muse. Not a day to make major purchases. Mercury is still retrograde, and this Venus square to Neptune is making you not see the details. You could buy a lemon right now, or you could buy something that you later regret. Welcome to the Story of Spirit podcast, where practical spirituality meets real life. Hi, I'm your host, She Tells Story. I'm a psychic medium, grief support counselor, professional astrologer, and a human design reader, and of course, a law of attraction master coach. With my unique blend of spiritual and practical tools, I am here to help you align with your soul-led purpose and ignite a life that sets your soul on fire. In this podcast, we are going to explore the principles of energy, astrology, spirituality, and psychology to help you heal your grief and create an aligned life and business from the inside out. Whether you are looking to deepen your intuition, understand your cosmic design, or transform your business, this podcast is for you. Join me each week for insightful discussions, practical tips, and inspiring stories that will guide you on your journey to living your very best life. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at She Tells Story or wherever you listen to this podcast. Let's dive in and start this transformative journey together. Welcome to the Story of Spirit podcast. Welcome to the Astro forecast for the week of July. Mercury, July 28th to August 3rd. Mercury is in full retrograde at the time of me recording this. And I'm going to instruct my team to leave that in because it does not mess around. I've had quite the day of tech glitches today. And if you are having tech glitches too, I want you to know you're not alone. And we're healing perfectionist tendencies. So I may sneeze on this. You might notice some glitches, and that is okay. I'm not starting over with this. So we start out the week in a first quarter moon phase in Virgo. So this astro forecast again is for July 28th to August 3rd. And this first quarter moon phase is the moon gaining in light. We just came off that potent new moon at 2 degrees of Leo on Thursday, and Sun opposite Pluto is still in effect. This is an intense period of transformation and clashes between our personal power and the collective, what's best for the collective. So this is going to be a week of really checking in to how are you feeling, what is triggering you, and can you laugh about it? Can you just be like, this isn't really, Leo is very light. It can be very lighthearted. It's a party. They know how to, really have a good time. And in this Leo season, we can also be triggered by our ego. And so Virgo has a very big ego. As a Virgo, I can say that. But it's about controlling and getting all the details right. And so we don't want to turn that up too loud because then that becomes perfectionist, that becomes mean to ourselves. And so Moon in Virgo can be a little bit harsh. It's a bit of a critic, right? There's a lot of judgment. And instead, I'm going to invite you to go into the gift of it, or the city, the highest light, the highest frequency of a moon in Virgo. And it's about being of service. How can you help? How can we get better? How can we learn from everything we're doing and not see things as a measure of our own worth, but more so as a stepping stone to getting to where we want to go? So the first major aspect of this week is Wednesday, July 30th, and Venus moves into Cancer. This is going to soften the energy a little bit. Venus in Cancer brings tenderness, emotional depth, and a desire for nurturing and love and with creativity. We see comfort, safety, and heart-centered connection. And Venus will stay in Cancer until August 25th. So this is about emotional intimacy. This can be beautifying your home, self-love, creating safety. It's also about our connections to women. So this is about really our highest frequency of divine feminine, which is collaboration, community, sisterhood. When it falls into its shadow, it is comparison, it is not feeling safe. And Cancer, because it's a water sign, can overgive, right? It can be about making you feel safe over its own safety. So this is about really understanding who is your true family, because family is not always blood. And the shadow is clinginess, nostalgia, really kind of, the word is like romanticizing the past or coding red flags as green flags. So being careful of that, and emotional overprotection. So, sort of saying like, I'm going to do this for me and screw everybody else, or I'm doing this for you and screw myself. How can we do both? How can we be a caring, safe space for everyone, including ourselves? And then the next major aspect is Thursday, July 31st. And this is the Sun conjunct Mercury. Sometimes it's called Cazimi, the Mercury, which is the planet of the mind, thought processing, the way that we communicate. And it comes together in the heart of the Sun, as they call it, Cazimi. And in the heart of the Sun, I like to think of it as it amplifies it. So this is a really great time for really thinking about what your special superpower is. What is this thing that lights you up? What brings you the most joy? Because Mercury is retrograde. So it's a time about reviewing, reassessing, and realigning with our truest purpose, passion, mission. Leo is that fire of creativity, that spark of our special sauce that we are bringing into the world, right? It is love, romance, creativity, and self expression. And that rules the heart, right? This is about us being heart centered now. So it really is speaking to our heart that we're maybe scared to claim, that we haven't, really been able to say out loud that this is for me. So you might want to say those things, quiet. I was just in a group meeting with everyone on my podcast network. And one of the things I kind of declared out loud, and I went, oh, this is something that's really in my heart at this moment in time. And that is, I'm so done with any transactional relationships. I am only about true relational relationships or relational collaborations and coming together with people who really want to see both of us win. I see it a lot in the speaking world where you pay someone the speaking fee and then they show up for you. They don't share it on their, social media. They don't talk about it in their community. It is strictly transactional. And for me, I think relationships is the most important thing. If I'm going to agree to speak at your conference or do something that you're highlighting me in your community, then I want to highlight you in my community, because I don't do anything that is out of alignment, right? I won't speak at your conference. I won't speak at your thing if I don't feel like it's aligned for me. I've turned down things. I'm not just grabbing at podcast interviews and being in spaces and places because I think it's good for my PR. It's actually about alignment. If I feel like you're super aligned or I want to see you shine, I love being at your event because I like to defer back to you. I like to send people to your things. I'm not sitting there in the back trying to get everybody into my things, right? So this is about talking and being your true self in places where you are celebrated. So this is interesting because whenever two planets come together, it's a starting point. It's a starting of a cycle, right? And so we can look back every time that it's come together and see a theme in your life. So I looked back over the last few bits of time where it came together and give you a little bit of a theme on this. So May 30th, the Sun and Mercury came together. It was in its direct motion at that time, and it was in Gemini. Gemini is about community, relationships, information, communication. It wants to be doing things, thinking about things. It's a very intelligent and curious sign. So in that time, then Mercury is at home in Gemini as well. So this would have been a time to look back and see, is there any themes coming up from May 30th? What were you doing in May 30th? I can barely remember what I did yesterday. So this is about looking back on your calendar, looking back in your pictures, looking back on your emails and seeing what were you thinking about, dreaming about, talking about during May 30th that's coming up now on July 31st, because whatever is coming up now is going to come back around when the Sun and Mercury move back together again in Virgo this time, which is its home sign again. Virgo, Mercury loves to be in Virgo, and it's ruling. It rules that sign, and that's going to be on September 13th. So there's something that's going to string together these dates because the energy of these two planets are coming together. They're coming together in different signs, right? So May 30th was in Gemini. It was about community, communication, and curiosity. July 31st, retrograde in Leo. What is your special mission, your special voice, your talent that you are adding to the collective soup that then makes humanity, Aquarius, the opposite sign, better, right? So What are you not doing? Where are you not speaking your truth? What are you scared of if you do speak up? And then September 13th now is about doing it, actively being of service, saying the things that you need to say, being of service in that special way that you came here to be in service. So pay attention to all of these connecting points because they're going to be important. You may gain insights around your purpose, voice, or creative direction. Pay close attention to what's coming up now because it's going to be golden. Creative epiphanies, powerful messages, renewed direction. I swear, it's not a great time, Mercury retrograde, to record podcasts, but such is life, right? Healing perfectionism, as I say it out loud. I'm feeling it in my heart. So the next major aspects, we have two on Friday, August the 1st, and we have Venus in Cancer square Saturn and Venus in Cancer square Neptune. They're both, Neptune and Saturn are sitting together in Aries at this time, and they're both retrograde. So Saturn retrograde is bringing up our responsibilities. Where have we not been taking responsibility? Where are we really not living up to our purpose, our authority, the way that we came into being? Like the Aries is our spark of life. It's the pioneer, it's bold, courageous action. And Saturn is about duty, responsibility, and being an authority. So when it's retrograde, it's asking you, where are you not being authority? Where are you not really owning your light? And Venus in Cancer square Saturn. Squares are challenges. And Venus is our what we love and value, beauty, aesthetics, and money. So this energy brings a serious tone to love, money, and emotional connections. You may feel pressure or limitations in relationships or in finances, making you question what's truly supportive and sustainable. It's a day for emotional maturity, boundaries, and deep reflection on your values. Venus rules our values. So when we have that Cancer, it's about safety and money. So this is going to be a time where we really are going to be asking yourself, or maybe the universe will be asking you, maybe the CRA or the revenue agency in the US is going to be asking you, are you spending your money wisely? Where's my money? Why aren't you paying your taxes? Like, let's go. So it's going to ask you to be very, very responsible with your relationships, with your money, and with the things that you value in your life. And then, Neptune is the planet of the fog. It is deception in a square. And when it's retrograde, it's taking off masks, it's taking off the guise, it's removing that. But in a square, it's a very challenging position because Neptune really dissolves away things. It's dissolving away my sun in this moment in time. Who am I? I don't know. So this aspect blurs the line between fantasy and reality in relationships and desires. You may feel overly idealistic, confused, or disillusioned. It's a beautiful day for creativity, for spiritual connection, but not ideal for making major decisions. This is great to channel this energy into art, compassion, daydreams, music, anything that's creative. This is going to be a really wonderful creative muse. Not a day to make major purchases. Mercury is still retrograde, and this Venus square to Neptune is making you not see the details. You could buy a lemon right now, or you could buy something that you later regret. True story. I went to take my child who wanted to get a piercing done, and I almost pierced my nose. I was like, Mercury retrograde, don't do it. But in high school, and this is interesting, there's a transit going through my chart right now that happened also when I was in high school. And I had contemplated getting a little diamond stud, in my nose. And I told my mom, and my mom's like, oh my God, you're going to look so Indian. And I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. Number one, my mom wants me to do it. And number two, that identity piece of me being East Indian versus me being brought up in Canada. And like, how do I feel about that? And I ended up not getting it. And then when my child wanted this piercing, I was like, maybe I'll go with you and get my nose done. And I realized it's Mercury retrograde and it's not something I should be doing on a whim. So that's an example of Venus square to Neptune, but also Mercury retrograde. So it's kind of these decisions that you want to make with your aesthetics and your beauty, major haircut or getting bangs. This is not a time to get bangs, my friends. If you were thinking about it before and contemplating it, wait till Mercury is direct after, let's go August like 15th, and then see if you still want it. Like, there's no timeline on getting bangs. Just Now is not the time to give eggs. So again, that over idealistic confusion, rose colored glasses, everything looks wonderful. Not the time, my friends. Wait, just wait a couple more weeks and then make that choice. There's no rush in anything. If you're going to make a choice, you're going to make it 2 weeks from now, you're going to make it now. There's no rush on cutting your hair or getting a piercing done or a tattoo for that matter. Not the time if you haven't been thinking about it for a long, long time. And then finally, the last aspect is Saturday, August 2nd, and it's Venus in Cancer in conjunct Pluto. In conjunct is a 150-degree angle. Pluto is death, rebirth, and transformation. And Venus is what we love and value. So this is an uncomfortable energy that pushes hidden feelings around control, trust, and vulnerability to the surface. This is going to be a challenging energy for understanding where you have power struggles in your relationships, or maybe things of the past. Pluto brings up generational wounds or trauma patterns, patterns of wounding of the past as well, emotional dysregulation that's happened in the past, brings it up now to be healed. In conjunct, it's like these two planets need to work together. There's an adjustment that needs to be made. And if they can adjust, they can create a superpower, a gift. So, Venus, again, what we love and value in Cancer. This could be about our mother, our safety, the way we feel about ourselves. And Pluto in Aquarius is about where we have not been aligning to the higher causes, that the things that have been holding us back. Let's just say I had lunch with my mom on this day and she commented on my weight, then that might bring up a piece of me not wanting to shine my light because here I am, never enough, the judgment of those things. Like, it's just an example. My mom may or may not ever talk about those things, but it's just an example of how something might trigger you on this day to really go deeper into, wait a second, where did that come from? What's the root of that? Where do I feel that in my body? What's the story that it's telling me? And what do I actually know to be true? How do I want to rewire this? What do I want to be my story? Because the fact of the matter with the belief is it's just a belief. It's not real. It's not facts. It's something that you have coded as a fact to you, but it's not a fact to everybody else, right? So if you could come out the other side, what do you want instead? Asking yourself that question to not be triggered by that kind of comment. Instead, now, if my mom was to say that, I'd say, oh, that's really interesting that that's important to you. Tell me, where did you learn that? Right? That sounds like criticism. Did your mom say that to you? Or where did you learn that? So asking the question versus accepting this past pattern. So something to think about. Sunday brunching on this Sunday might not feel so great. Of here, it's a long weekend. Might be just great to stay in or journal on your emotions and feelings and what's coming up for you on this day to get deeper into the insights that this transit is bringing you so that you can elevate into your dreams, calling in more abundance, amazing relationships, a lot of self-love, and feeling that safety and security for yourself in your soul by yourself. All right. So wishing you a very introspective, self-aware week as we navigate this Mercury retrograde time and this time over the summer where maybe you don't have as many triggers coming up because it's a lighter time, or maybe you have more because you are in close quarters with your family. Whatever this is bringing up for you, I promise, my friends, it's going to give you so many gifts and abundance on the other side of all these transits that are, retrograde at this moment in time. They're meant to bring up these things so you can heal it, so you can see it, so you can take a little time out and not be worried that you're missing the boat or everything is going full steam ahead. It's not. It's meant to be a pause in this moment in time. So wishing you joy in the pause, and I will see you next week. Thank you for joining me on this episode of the Story of Spirit podcast. I hope you have found inspiration, support, and practical insights to help you align with your soul-led purpose and live a life that sets your soul on fire. If you have enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to the podcast, leave a review, and share it with a friend. Your support helps us to reach more listeners and continues to provide valuable content. I sincerely appreciate every share, and I know it is how most people find me. It is because caring people like you have shared me with them at the right and perfect time. For more resources, insights, and to connect with our community, please visit us at www.shetellstory.com and follow us on Instagram at shetellstory. Remember, your journey to a more aligned and vibrant life is just the beginning, and I am here to support you every step of the way. Until next time, stay aligned, stay inspired, and keep shining your beautiful light. This is She Tells Story, signing off from the Story of Spirit podcast. Here's the legalese that's required by our lawyers. This podcast and the YouTube channel represents the opinions of She Tells Story and her guests to the show. The content should not be taken as medical, psychological, or financial advice. This series is informational and entertainment purposes only. Because each person is so unique, please consult your healthcare professional, your mental health dream team, your financial advisor, or anyone else that's an expert in the field in where you are thinking of making big choices in your life.